Karla,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think that these are the right slides. Not for this training. These slides are for the next training later on.
Oh, that's right. So yes, but if I remember correctly, I think these are the right ones because I did add something to them. So if we go on to the next slide, I think that's where you're going to see that these are the right ones. I know you're weirded out because we have this whole circus theme in the background and we're dressed like pirates. And then that right there has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But I promise you, check this out. Oh, where do we go from here? Oh, there we go.
Click on it.
I don't think that they're here to become a better lover. I might be wrong, but
a mess. But see, here it is.
Here we go. Welcome everyone to Teach and Tech Like a Pirate. Karla and I are here today to help you with some strategies to help you teach and tech like a pirate. So get your pirate lingo ready and get ready to have some fun, and we're going to ride the waves of engagement strategies today.
Yeah, let's get the scurvy started.
I have a few though. Let's give them a few housekeeping ideas first.
Yes.
You guys should have all received a card to take some notes on. We're going to give you some hooks. So if you'd like to write down some of the information that we're going to give you, that would be great. And we'll tell you what hooks we're going to give you. And then there's a couple of treats on your table, or a treat with a bag or a bag with a question mark. Don't touch that. Don't be nosy. We'll get there at the end. It's okay. All right. Anything else, Karla? Compasses. We need to tell them about compasses right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the bit.ly.
So our presentation, the bit.ly up on the top, if you guys want to write it down or save it, so that if you can later refer to the presentation, please go ahead and do so. We have added little nuggets of information on the presentation, and those are going to be links to a ton of resources. So if you click on the compasses that are going to be around each one of the slides, you're going to get the step-by-step on how to do some of the stuff that we're going to be presenting today. So if you have any questions, feel free to let your facilitator know, and we'll address it as we go along. And Elena, do you know why it takes pirates so long to learn the alphabet?
I don't, Karla. Tell me why it takes pirates so long to learn the alphabet.
Because we spend years at sea.
Yay! We need a courtesy clap for that one, you guys. All right, here we go. All right. So the first slide here, everything that we're giving you today, all of the strategies and tools and tips are from this book, Teach Like a Pirate. If you have not heard of it, seen it, whatever, I highly, highly recommend that you go out and get it. It's by Dave Burgess. It's a really small read, but it's chock full of a ton of information to help you with engaging your classroom and really getting your students excited about the content that you're teaching. Doesn't cost very much. I think Amazon has it for like 14 bucks or something like that. So definitely check out this little tiny book. It's definitely worth your time, worth the read.
There you go.
Okay, Karla.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's tell them what the pirate, the words pirate stands for in terms of the book. All right, you guys, the book Teach Like a Pirate is based on this acronym, and it's divided up into chapters. And the first, it talks about everything. We want to tell you what pirate means. So Karla's holding up a P. So P stands for passion, you guys. You have to be excited and passionate about what you want your students to learn. If you are not excited about it, if you don't have passion about it, please do not expect them to. They will not buy in. So how much passion do you have for the lesson that you're trying to create or that you're ultimately going to teach? Next.
Next.
Is, nope, that's E.
Oh, it's
I.
I
is for immersion. You need to immerse yourself in the content, in the lesson building. How much time do you guys spend really thinking about what you want your students to learn, what you want them to eventually walk away with? So you really need to immerse yourself in the content. All right, let's go to R.
Okay, hold on a second here while I get the
They
logistics.
should be in order.
Sorry, guys. Do not hire
drop
this
them on the
pirate
floor.
for your events.
R is for rapport. What kind of rapport are you building with your students? And I know you've spent 3 days now talking about building a student relationship, but those are truly, truly important for them to get you, or for your students to buy into your content. So are you spending some time building rapport with your students? Super, super important. All right. A is for ask and analyze. Are you asking questions? Are you analyzing your lesson plans? Are you open to feedback? The best thing about being a teacher is that we get to reflect all the time on the stuff that went really, really well and the stuff that didn't go very well. So ask and analyze, ask for feedback, ask your students how it went, ask other teachers to come in and review your lessons, ask your administrator to do so, but we really want that feedback that helps us learn and grow. So A is for ask and analyze. All right, T. T is for transformation. Imagine how transformative your lessons could be. Is there something that you can bring in? And we're going to give you lots of tidbits coming up later. But think about how transformative you can be in the classroom. What little twist could you add? What little thing could you bring in to show your class? And we're going to give you some really great examples today. And then last but not least is E. E. Wherever E is.
It's right here.
E is for enthusiasm, you guys. How excited are you? How much passion, like we said in the beginning, but enthusiasm is free. And so the more excited you are, the more excited your students are going to be. And it's free, you guys. You got to use it. Use it, use it, use it, but be enthusiastic. Because if you're not enthusiastic about what you're teaching, your students won't be either. All right.
Correct.
All right, here we go. On to the next one. All right, so we are going to talk about strategies in ways to engage your students, but we want to kind of dial back for a minute and we want to talk about preheating your grill. Dave Burgess talks about how you set up your lessons and how you get ready for them. So for example, I'm going to have you guys over for a barbecue, let's say, and I might think about, okay, well, what do I want to serve? I'm not just going to throw a steak on your plate and say, eat it. I'm going to think about, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll have an appetizer, something to introduce the meal. And then I might ask you, well, we're serving steak. How do you like your steak cooked? Do you like it medium well? Do you like it well done? And I'm going to take the time to maybe season the steak, marinate it. Maybe I'm going to tenderize, put some salt and pepper. I'm not just going to put a piece of meat down and go eat it. But that's exactly what some of you might have seen, or teachers do. They just throw the content down and say, that's it, eat it. And we wonder why students aren't enthusiastic about what we're trying to teach them. So preheat your grill, you guys. Think about how you introduce your lesson and the appetizers you're going to serve, the main course, and then how are you going to finish it off with dessert. Think about how you close your lesson, and hopefully today will give you some great ideas for that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, this slide again, Karla, this
Yes,
keeps coming up.
Yes.
So what do you want to tell them about this one? This is, write it down on your paper. This is hook number 1, and it's called the board message hook. The board message hook. So when we started, this was the first thing you guys saw. Did anybody get excited about this thing? You can raise your hand. Or did anybody think that that was funny?
Oh,
did anybody use your paddles? Did anybody take a picture of it? Like, this is the training I'm sitting at right now. All right. So hopefully it got your attention. Yay, I see some of you up there. Hopefully it caught your eye, it caught your attention, and you thought, geez, I'm glad I came to this training today because this is going to get really, really good. However, we used it as the board message hook, which is a hook in the book. What can you do? What message could you put up on your board, on the projector, even in distance learning, to get your students' attention? I don't recommend that you put up the #1 way to become a better lover, but we're all adults here. Think about what is age appropriate for your students, or something with your content. But how do you get them wondering, what the heck are we going to do today? This is exciting. I want to be here. So board message hook. All right, Karla,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
going to show them the digital version of this board message hook, aren't you?
I believe so.
All right, let's go.
That scurvy is really getting to my nuggets. So, okay, guys. So, what tools can you use to create a board message hook. So Elena, in the previous slide, used Google Slides, and all it was is a template from Slide Carnival. And it's just text and a simple GIF. There are several tools that you can use. And one of the things that are recommended is the creation of memes to capture the attention of your students. I'll talk about the tools in just a bit, but imagine your students, you're ready to have your Zoom meeting or your Google Meet, whatever, tool you're using, and they see something like this. What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? Hi, matey. In other words, I'm matey, right? So memes have been around for quite a while. They're funny. They're all over social media. And so they're very simple to use and very simple, very simple to create. And so you can create these using either Google Slides, Google Drawings, Canva, Adobe Spark. And there are several tools that will give you royalty-free images, such as Pixabay, Pix for Learning, Pexels, the Noun Project, Creative Commons, and if you want to even give it a little twist, you can add your own Bitmoji if you've already created one. So all of the tools on how to do this are going to be provided, the step-by-steps on the compasses that are around this slide. So start thinking of, what can I do really to get those students excited on that first day of class to capture their attention? Could be a meme maybe.
I'm going to just click on a compass.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the compasses that are built into our presentation, click on them and it'll bring up everything that Karla and I are talking about. So we just kind of made it really easy for you to check these types of things out. Anything else about the board message hook digitally that you want to say, Karla?
No.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's all I got to say about that.
Hook number 2, you guys, write it down. Mystery bag hook. Students have a natural curiosity for what they cannot see. Hence, you have a mystery bag at each of your stations or place settings there. It has a question mark. I wonder what's in that bag. So think about what you could openly hide in your classroom. And I say openly because the students should see, oh, why is that box sitting on Mrs. Robinson's desk? I wonder what's in it. And maybe you keep on opening the lid and closing it but how can you build suspense? Can you keep it going for a week and at the end of the week you open the box or you take guesses, have the students write down maybe what they think is in the box. Maybe it has something to do with the unit that you are studying. So what could you openly hide from students and how can you make that go for a few days and over all of your periods? And you can do this virtually as well. And we're going to show you how in just a second. Do not touch, squeeze, or feel your bag. We'll get to that in a little bit. Just be patient. We're going to keep the suspense going there. All right.
So no cheating.
Karla, do you have a digital version of this hook?
Yes, I do. And I don't know about you guys, but when it comes time for Christmas, I'm the person that will literally go and shake the boxes to see what's in it, just to try to guess. I'm really bad with that. So my husband now hides everything and he puts it out the day of because he knows, my mind. Anyhow, so one of the things I was thinking that you can do to accompany this hook if you're going to be teaching remotely is Jamboard. So you can still, hide the thing or make reference to it during your lecture, give them hints, and then when you're ready, what you can do is you can actually have them write down a response using Jamboard. Now, what is Jamboard? Jamboard is a digital whiteboard tool, just like a typical whiteboard, that allows you and students to collaborate at the same time. When you open it up, it will show you a series of frames. So what I'm going to have you all do right now, if you wouldn't mind, is click on any one of the Jamboard icons. They're actually on top of each one of the little bags that are on the desks, and also on the top right corner, it looks like a little musical note, I want to say. And when you click on it, it's going to take you to the actual Jamboard app. And what you can do here is, again, as you're integrating it as part of your class, you can ask students, hey, what do you think is inside the bag or inside the box? And you can ask them to go ahead and click on the sticky note icon that's on the left side where your tools are at, it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4th tool. When you click on that, it automatically will add an eye touch. Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
you can write what you think what's in that bag, and then you can click on save, and it will automatically show your responses. Money, yes. So when you click on save, it automatically will add, and then if you click on cancel, there you go. Oh, and I think it's like whatchamacallit, like layering them, so you can move your sticky around. So that way, there you go, guys. Excellent. So I'm gonna tell you something. There's this, if I know I don't have the privilege of getting to know you guys personally, but I like Slot Plate. And there's this guy I follow on YouTube, and he's driving around, and he records himself while he's going from casino to casino, and he always has a box in the back of his car. And it drives me nuts because I'm always asking, hey, what's, in the comments, what's in the box? What's in the box? I was the first one to ask, and now it's a joke. Everybody asks, hey, what's in the box? What's in the box? And he now is paying attention to our comments, and he said this was last week, oh, you know what, guys? If you're really interested, I'll let you know. Just keep watching me. So of course we're gonna keep watching him for other stuff as well. But just think of how you can integrate this tool while you're giving your lessons. Again, throw them little hints, little hooks here and there. It could be at the beginning of a lesson. You can use this at the end of the lesson. You could use it to check for understanding, maybe just to see if they need to, more than anything, just to see where they're at. And I was telling Elena, I was having a really hard time trying to find what can I use for this one hook.
Right.
But I'm so happy I came across this one because I thought this is really great. Now, you do have several frames, as I had mentioned before. So it kind of mirrors Google Slides in that if you click on the frame up on the top, you'll get more and more and more. So if you think you'll run out of space, you really won't, because you have total frames, the boxes that you're seeing on your screen. So that's just one tool that you can also use to your teacher toolbox.
I like your responses, you guys. This is really cool. So use your paddles. Is this something that you guys will use in your classroom, or think that this is pretty cool for whether you are distance learning or face-to-face? Love it. Yay. All right.
Look at it. They've even added images. Yay.
Karla, our job is done. We can go home. They like this idea, this strategy.
Let's just go then.
No, but we got more to share for sure.
All
right. So before I close everything, I just go back to
the second. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, friends. So that's Jamboard. And remember, the compasses all have clickable links. So click on there and you'll find lots of fun stuff about Jamboard and other strategies and other resources for you to use for the mystery bag hook. All right? And we'll come back to the bag, so don't touch it, don't squeeze it. Right. I hear some chatter over there. Hook number 3, the chef hook. Food and drinks, anyone? Think about how you can incorporate food into your classroom. This is really easy when we're face-to-face and you can pass out candy or popcorn or something, but think about how you can incorporate food and drink into a lesson or a unit. Is there something that you can pass up and down that students can actually feel and touch? We're going to show you a virtual hook as well, but I want to do a little kind of show you what I came up with. I don't recommend bang, and why I have one in my house, I'm not sure, but let me talk to you about this prop. Okay, let me talk to you about bang for a second. So I think that I was looking for products or something that could cross over so many different genres, and I'll bring this back for for another hook that we have. But think about our medical teachers. Maybe they can talk about the lack of nutritional value in here and how much caffeine is actually in here. And then they can toss this can over to our business or marketing teachers, and they can study, gosh, Why does the can look this way? Why is it this color? Maybe they can look at the logo design of Bang. And then maybe they can toss it over to the law enforcement classroom and we can figure out, if I steal this, what's going to happen to me if I walk out of the store with a bang? So I try to think of things that crossed all different types of industries that you guys could connect. So think about things that you have at home that you could use as part of a chef hook. And I know you can't barbecue inside your classroom, but think about the little tiny things that might have something to do with your lesson plan or unit that kids could actually touch. And I know we're not face to face right now, but that's why we've got Karla here, and she's going to show you the virtual hook of the chef hook in just a second. All right?
I don't think I have one for that one, Elena.
You don't?
I don't think so.
I think you do. I saw it. This is the best one.
So I thought of, okay, since we can't bring the food, obviously, to the students' houses, what can we do? What would be an alternative, right? I'm hungry already just thinking of this stuff. But interactive learning menus, guys. So I went online and I did a search. Now, mind you, we presented this, what, a couple of years ago?
In 2018.
2018 at the CRY-ROP conference. And then I think I had talked about this also in another workshop that I had provided here at CRY-ROP. And I thought, this is by far the best tool I've ever found, right? What it is, guys, it's a presentation, a slide deck that has a menu of different apps that students can use to pretty much demonstrate their learning. So say, for example, since everything is online right now, what you can do is share any one of the menus that are on your screen, and it will give them options as to what kinds of tools they can use to create a product. So if you want to assess them, maybe you've given them a unit on, I don't know, the power tools, for example, right? You want to make sure that the students understand the process and safety and how to make sure they're using the equipment properly. Well, if you'd like, you can share one of these interactive learning menus and have the students create maybe a presentation, maybe a drawing, maybe a video. You also have non-digital options as well, so that, the whole point of this is to tap on like the different learning styles of the students and multiple modalities. And it also provides student choice and voice, and it allows them for us as teachers to see whether or not they're understanding the concepts. So when you click on any one of the menus, it will again open up a slide deck, and in it with those links, when you click on any one of the links, it will take you to a slide, say Google Slides, and then it will give them instructions on how to create something and then turn it into use. So it provides very specific instructions. Now, one of our teachers, well, I shouldn't say one of our teachers because I don't work here anymore.
You'll always be. Should we bring up Wendy?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So Wendy created this awesome interactive learning menu, and she pretty much, well, I wouldn't say borrowed, but I guess inspired to some extent from the one that I had presented in the previous workshop. And this is the Orange Blossom Cafe. And if you notice, it says, welcome to the Orange Blossom Cafe, where personalized service matters. So if I go to the second slide, she actually has students take a learning style inventory and then look at also some other tools that they can use more than anything to assess themselves. And then now here are some tips for project creations. And on the fourth slide, this is where she actually provides students with the different menus. So again, it mirrors food, restaurant options. Sorry guys, we can't Uber Eats with students, right? So this is the best I could come up with. And so when you click on any one of these options, for example, Wendy here is asking the students to go to Google Slides, create a presentation, and then once you're finished, add it to your assignment from Google Drive. And you can provide more detailed instructions on each one of these. This is just a quick overview of the different options. And right now, Fortnite is really, I guess, popular amongst teens. So I found this when I was like, oh, I like that one too. So I figured I'd add it onto there. But so yeah, first one is like a restaurant menu. The second one is to Third one is a variation, but I think you guys get the gist of it.
And talk about preheating your grill. Here are your entrees, your appetizers, your beverages, and desserts. So it's truly a one-stop shop for your students to be able to click through this and do, especially now that we're in distance learning, to be able to do all of this remotely. So cool stuff, you guys. Click on the compasses too. There's lots of stuff there as well.
And choice, right? Because one of the things that we want to give students now that they're, working from home, we might not have access to the device. They might want to work with something that is non-digital. So there's options too where they can create a poster or they can create a skit or a play. I mean, it's all about choices for students, given our current situation.
All right, here we go. On to the next hook. All right, the Mozart hook, you guys, that is hook number 4, and it's all about music. Music is an unbelievable state and mood changer. Just think about the music that Chris has been playing the last 3 days, and we need music. It makes us feel good. It puts us in a better mood. It definitely has the ability to touch our soul like few other mediums. So think about how you can incorporate music into your lessons. Is it as simple as having music play when students enter your virtual classroom, or have music playing when we're back face to face? If they take a quiz and are having some downtime, maybe you just play some soft music, ask them for their selections of how they would, what they would choose in terms of music. Maybe one person gets to choose per day or something like that. We've linked the Mozart here. If you click on Mozart, it'll take you to YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
So think about how you can incorporate music into all of your lessons or just on a regular basis. Karla, do we have a digital hook of the Mozart hook?
We sure do. That one was easy.
All right.
Obviously, YouTube and Spotify would be your best friend for both of these. You can create playlists and then share them with students. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just music. It could be create a playlist of videos that you found regarding a specific topic that would help students maybe better understand the content that you're covering. Spotify, also you can create music playlists, but what I really like about Spotify is their podcasts. They have a lot of really cool podcasts that you can definitely integrate.
CT Teach Podcast on Spotify.
There you go.
What are we going to do with him?
And so I thought, well, how can you get the students engaged into this? And I figured, well, why don't you have them create a playlist for your unit? Now it could be something that is connected to the unit or the chapter that you're working on, or if you just want them to pick a song that you can play in the background while they're getting ready to start the day. Having their input is so important. And one of the things that I've been learning a lot during this time off is the importance of, the social emotional learning and connecting with your students. And sometimes just by playing that one song, I remember radio, right? When they would play my song, I was like, yeah, that's my jam. I'm ready for the day.
Yeah.
So why not give your students the opportunity to, just share, this is the song that I would like. And as long as it has, appropriate lyrics, I think they're good. But, just try to think of, okay, how can I tweak this a bit so that my students can also participate as part of that? So again, YouTube and Spotify and Compasses Around will provide you information on how to create playlists, how to create, share those playlists on Google Classroom, and then also how to create playlists on Spotify.
All right. So that's the Mozart hook, you guys.
Look at my little...
Yeah, and if you stick around, maybe Karla will tell you at the end how she got her little Bitmoji to dance around, because that was really cool. Oh, it's time for a break, because you guys need to get up and you need to
pillage and plunder.
All right, you guys. Karla, I have one for you too.
Oh, okay.
You guys should have a paddle ball. Do you guys have a paddle ball? Everybody up, out of your seats.
Oh.
Chris, I really want to play Ice Ice Baby. To give you guys a brain break. So your paddle balls are yours to take home. We're not going to collect them. Take them to your kids, to your wife, your significant other. It's been a long time since I've done paddleball. But anyways, just thinking about the tools and tricks you guys can use in your classroom. Paddleballs don't take very much money, but they take skill, which I better stick to my day job. All right. So paddleballs away.
This was fun.
Yes, we needed a brain break before we go into the next. Look at, they're having fun with that.
Yes, they are.
Did you guys lose the ball?
No offense.
James, are you keeping your participants on track there?
Yes.
Never.
Never.
Yes.
All right. So this is hook number 5, you guys. This is the storytelling hook. And when we think about the stories that we can incorporate into our classroom, what can you tell your students that would have something to do with what you're teaching? And maybe it's the personal story that has something to do with coming up in your lesson plan. Maybe it's something on interviewing or dressing appropriately for the job. We have all had life happen to us, and so you have to think about how you can dig deep and find stories that are personal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the analog way to tell a story. Obviously, I'm just going to tell you a story, and then Karla's going to jump back in here and give you the digital version of how to tell a story. So I am going to start. This is a true story. I'm not making anything up here, but I am going to be very vulnerable right now.
When you were a pirate, you're going to talk about that one?
Yeah, when I was a pirate. Yeah. All right. So this is my coming out story, being really vulnerable here. I think you should be vulnerable with your classroom. It makes us really, really real to our students. So my coming out story, I got to switch slides here. Out of the classroom, that is. Did I get you? So my, you got it, right?
I got it.
Out of the classroom story, that is. And I want to switch slides.
I
I
got
want
it
to
for you.
show you a picture. So I was in the classroom for 18 years as a high school teacher. CRY-ROP got me because I was laid off at my former district, and I ended up at Bloomington High School. It didn't end up, it was the best place that I had ever taught. So I came to CRY-ROP in 2010, and I taught at Bloomington High School. And just like you guys, I had a mentor teacher, and that's this wonderful lady on the left named Becky Sharp. When I showed up here at CRY-ROP, although I came with 12 years of teaching experience, I too had to go through TIP, just like you guys are going through. And Becky Sharp was my mentor teacher. So she's gonna do exactly what Chris McClung is doing. She's going to coach you and help you and be your soundboard, and you're gonna get to vent to Chris. And so she was my mentor, and I fell in love with what she did for a living, and I thought, I could really be a really great mentor. And so I told her one day, I said, Becky, when you get ready to retire, I want you to call me up and let me know, because I want to apply for the job. And sure enough, 4 years later, she called me on the phone, and I was sitting in my classroom. I'll never forget the day at Bloomington High School. And she called me up and she said, Elena, I want to let you know that this is my last year in the classroom, or as the mentor teacher, and I'm going to retire. I think you should apply for the job. And I was like, oh my goodness, I got really excited, and I thought, okay, I can do this. This is what I've been waiting for. And then I dialed back and I said, wait a second, I'm a teacher in the classroom. I feel like I make the most difference in the trenches. I'm there in the line of fire. This is where I have the most connection with kids, is in the classroom. And I loved teaching. I taught various business courses, and that's just where I felt that I thrived, was there in the classroom. And she said, and I'll never forget when she said that, she said, Elena, think about how many more students you can impact by training really, really great teachers to be really, really great. And I thought, that's it. I applied for the job and the stars aligned and I ended up getting the job, and that was in 2014. So I was Chris McClung up until 2 years ago when I became program manager. This is my second year being program manager. So I was the mentor teacher for 5 years and got to do all of the TIP workshops. And it was really, really exciting. It's where I think I resonate best. And so had I not decided to come out of the classroom and try to make a difference by training and developing great teachers, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm going to circle back around and I'm going to switch slides and I'm going to tell you how you can incorporate this into your classroom. This is one of the very last TIP classes that I was able to lead and to mentor. Most of these teachers are still with us. You see Wendy McClung up there, who has just grown so much with us. There are teachers who have left for district positions and gotten bigger and better jobs, so we're really happy. There's Scott Rain really in the back, who you heard from on Monday, who has just done phenomenally well. I've got 2 teachers up there who now teach not only in the classroom, but online for us. So all of these teachers have grown with us so much. So this is one of my last TIP classes that I got to instruct, and I have a big heart for TIP and for what you guys go through and what Chris gets to do with you guys every day. But point being, your students are really looking for you to share with them an opportunity when you jumped. And they really want to know that it's okay to take chances. So while it might be a little scary and you might need someone to reach out a hand to you and say, it's okay, go ahead and jump in, I've got you, which is now the mentor teacher's job, which is Chris's job. It's really, really scary. And our students are looking for the okay, the opportunity just to go ahead and get your feet wet. Because once you jump off, that feeling of exhilaration, you don't know how it's going to turn out, but eventually everything will be okay. And then finally, once you do hit that water, this is how I felt when I finally got the position is, gosh, it's so refreshing to be here. So I want to close this by saying teach your students to jump, to take chances even if they are not sure of the outcome. They are waiting for you to assure them the water is fine. So we don't have any guarantees in life, but if you can be vulnerable and think of those stories where you can pull from personal experiences that have anything to do with anything that you're teaching, you become so much more real to your students. So this is probably my biggest piece of advice is dig deep, be vulnerable, and share with them the times that things didn't work out for you, but then share the ones that did as well. So that was my little storytelling hook that you can do in your classroom, or you can do this online. And now Karla is going to take you through the virtual way to tell a story.
Wow, Elena, I absolutely loved. That wasn't on the presentation.
It wasn't.
Wow. So I mean, Elena just provided a great example of how with just a Google slide presentation, images, right? And just narrate your story just with simple images, and not death by PowerPoint, which we want to stay away from. But wow, I loved it. Such a good message. So we're looking at what tools can you use to create those powerful, right, compelling stories to really connect with your students. And like Elena said, be vulnerable, be willing to share. Oftentimes, students are going through a lot, and if you can at least let them know what you've been through, they'll know that, hey, yeah, the teacher's human too, because, you know, sometimes, I don't know, but me going through high school, I remember those teachers that were vulnerable, that shared stories, that were willing to let me see beyond just the teacher. And so, sorry, I went on a segue there, but so what are some of the tools you or your students can use to create these stories? Obviously, Google Slides. Adobe Spark is a great tool. It lets you integrate text, video, images, links, audio. Book Creator. Hey, why not have your students create their own book library? I believe you get a total of 3 libraries with a total of 60 books. So all in all, you can create a total, or your students and yourself can create a total of 180 books. And then Microsoft Sway is kind of like a PowerPoint. It's, I don't know, I like to say if you walk this way, it's a little bit different. So all of these tools allow you to integrate multimedia, which I think is really cool because, again, getting those messages across, especially with our new generation of learners, they appreciate video, they appreciate audio, and if you can integrate and plug those things in, I am sure they're going to be really happy with the story. And again, don't forget to click on those compasses to to check out how you can create those cool digital stories.
That was great, Karla. All
Was
these
it?
good stuff, all these good digital tools.
We're so inspired.
All right, you guys, hook number 6.
Yay!
Yay. The props hook.
Yes.
There's my bang again, because you could use bang as a props hook.
Yum.
So what could you bring into your classroom, assuming we're face-to-face? What could you bring in the classroom that you could share with your students? Something that they could touch, something that they could feel, that you could pass up and down the rows. Think about that. I have, my goodness, what do I have? Sorry.
Ooh.
So I found a really big dice. I think I got this at Five Below. I've used it in tip the last few years. But, you know, what could you do with the dice that they could roll on the floor, on the table, what have you? I realize this isn't in person, but think about the little things that don't cost very much that you could bring in. I have a picture of Play-Doh on the screen. This is also Play-Doh in my hand. It just looks like an ice cream. But maybe you put Play-Doh out. Play-Doh is a de-stressor, especially if you smell it. I guess that's what people tell me. So you can put Play-Doh out and you can talk about, gosh, once again, can you talk about the design of the container? Can you talk about the logo? Can you talk about the color use? Can you talk about the fact that you can eat Play-Doh and it won't hurt you? Don't eat it, but it was made because kids put things in their mouth and they eat it. So what can you use to inspire your students to get them hooked into whatever you're trying to teach? I have done the cereal box before. I showcased that when we did this same presentation before, you know, bring in a box of Lucky Charms, a box of tricks. Boy, that crosses over into a lot of industry sectors that we had. And so how can they use the cereal? And then I don't know, you let them eat it someday when we're out of COVID. But I think about those things that you can use that would be interesting for them to touch and feel. Okay.
I remember using Skittles and M&Ms in one of my lessons in Excel where I would have them sort and then create a spreadsheet based on the colors.
There you go.
Those were the good days.
The good days when we could all reach into the candy bags.
And just throw them on the table and not care.
All right, you guys, you're in for a treat.
And so I thought, man, obviously you can't send them props, right? Unless you want to, go for it. But Elena and I were talking about, well, brainstorming. Well, how can we possibly create something, or at least, you know, share with teachers that they can use in a remote learning environment? And she shared this article with me from Matt Miller. If you're not following him, make sure you do on Twitter. He has a ton of resources that I always use. And for some reason, I did not get his last newsletter, but in it was this, an interactive Bitmoji classroom. When I saw this, I was like, whoa, thank you, Elena, because that just answers my question. So what is an interactive Bitmoji classroom? And talking about props, obviously, you know, you can't send props to the students, but you can create an interactive virtual classroom with props. And so right now, it's all of the teachers are creating their interactive Bitmoji classrooms using Bitmoji and you know, like all kinds of images. And I'll show you in the next slide how that works. But before I do, I just want to let you know that the compasses that are on the left and on the right, right in the center, those have hundreds of templates that you can use. They've already been created by teachers. The first one has templates of classroom backgrounds. The one on the left, sorry, and the one on the right, I believe, has backgrounds of different objects you can use. Thank you, Elena.
No problem, Karla.
So all you would need to do is just make a copy of whatever background you like, add your Bitmoji, and then start plugging in your links to make it interactive. So obviously, you know, the whole point of props is for students to touch and to feel. Well, how can I do that in a digital environment? You put links and you create your class and you have them click and you have them see, yada, yada, yada. I hope you get the point. So
This
there's,
is really cool, you guys.
I know, like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And I've created my own because I have also my Google Classroom with a lot of ed tech stuff for the teachers that I coach. And this is something that I have not introduced, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to jump into the next slide. What I did, so let's say I am one of the fashion merchandising. Is it fashion merchandising?
It's fashion marketing
merchandise.
or fashion merchandise, yeah.
And this is, you know, what I've put together. Everything that's in my classroom can be clicked on and interacted with. So for example, in my bookcase, I have books from for fashion and apparel. And then I have a Nearpod virtual reality experience. Then if you look up on the wall, I have a Google Arts and Culture, which opens up these all open up to sites with more information. Nepris, I was able to link some past recordings of industry experts. Then I have Google Classroom. The tablet on that table actually is a site with like simulations. So if you wanted a student to, and I'm sure you already have a ton of websites that you're using, you could just plug in those little links everywhere. So everything, guys, the laptop, my smart board, and then I have a little Flipgrid here icon where, you know, I can have the students as a form of assessment at the end of the week, or however you want to set up your virtual classroom. Then you can also provide ways for students to be assessed. So in this case, if this is my virtual classroom and the tools that are on there is for this week, then I can have them also add their feedback onto what did they learn this week, pick one thing that you found to be most interesting, describe what you learned and why, and then they can respond to that. So I know I've added a lot of elements, but you know, more or less you can think of maybe this week, I'm just gonna put those 3 things on there. And maybe next week I'll put these other 3 things on there. And I was thinking, well, how would students know what to do? If you decide to do this, maybe as a first day activity, you can walk them through like, okay, this is my digital classroom and these are the things that you should be looking for. You should be clicking on this and that. And then, or if you want, even make it more interactive and have them complete a scavenger hunt. So there's different ways to approach this, but from what I've seen online is that teachers are changing the things every week. Some are changing things every 2 weeks. Again, whatever you think works best, because you know your students best. So I think that would be my props version.
Yeah, it's a really great one. So think about it. And I know all these digital tools and analog tools might be extremely overwhelming, but just think of maybe 1 or 2 things that you can integrate into your classroom. You don't have to do everything all the time. Just 1 or 2 things that would change things up and give the students something different to do for sure. Stay with us, you guys. We're almost done. Okay, last hook, which is number 7, and this is the costume hook. Look at this, pirate teacher from Amazon. You know, easy to show up one day in your virtual classroom or your face-to-face classroom. What can you wear that would support your content? Can you wear a silly hat? Can you come in a pirate shirt and a bandana around your head? What can you come in dressed as, I don't know, something that has to do with fashion? I'm going to give you some examples right now, but what can you do to get the attention of your students? And let me give you some examples here. I wonder who this guy is. Where is this guy in the room? Where is David Ahmed?
Oh, is he here? Hey, David.
He is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Ahmed when he was back in the classroom. He is probably the epitome of this costume hook that we have here at CRY-ROP. There is no shame in this man's game, you guys. He has every suit and every costume for every holiday that you can can possibly imagine. And if the holiday doesn't exist, he will make one up and have a costume for it. So as you see here, he's got his Christmas fancy suit. On the right here, I think this was Halloween when he was a rocker. And then in the middle, his students designed this. His pants are all hall passes. And then the top, David, is, I don't know, a bunch of different stuff cut up. I'm not sure where this was going. But David decided to be vulnerable, and he keeps doing this. And imagine if your kids walked in one day and saw you dressed as something else. But wait, it gets better here, you guys. Hold on. David, don't leave.
Oh, no.
Here is David in his, what is that suit called, Chris? I don't know.
Superman.
Superhero?
Oh, yeah.
That's your shark cost? That's a shark?
And then in the middle, you guys, okay, now just think about this for a second. This is David in his shark costume in the classroom. And I just showed up one day at Bloomington High School to do my mentor visits. And he's like, pretend you're the sub, pretend you're the sub. So there I am standing at the door greeting kids. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's Dave, Mr. Amon had to leave, blah, blah, blah. And he's in the front in his shark suit. And he's just not making any noise. And kids are freaking out. And they're taking pictures. It's like, is that him? I think there's somebody breathing in there, what have you. But imagine if you had a shark suit and you just stood there. And you didn't say a word to kids when they came in. How vulnerable and how crazy and how silly are you willing to be? Because I'll tell you, you guys, nobody cares. They think, if you think you're gonna look silly, yes, you're gonna look silly, but that's what kids want. So maybe don't run out and get the shark suit right away. Just ask David to borrow it. But think about those things. And the shark suit really didn't have anything to do with what he was doing that day. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was just another way.
Shark Tank final.
Shark Tank final, even better. So think about those things that would grab the student's attention and get the period or the day off to a fantastic start. I've been a pirate several times. The picture on the right was the very, 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 very first time many years ago that I did P.I.R.A.T.E all by myself in the B building across the way for just a few teachers during our in-service. And it was so, so much fun that it kind of went viral, and we just decided to take P.I.R.A.T.E on the road, and we've had so many adaptations and added so many things to it. So how vulnerable are you willing to be? I think I have one more picture. Hold on. Oh, that's us, Karla.
Oh, that is us.
So there we are in our P.I.R.A.T.E teacher. Again, we've done this presentation on the state level a couple years ago for mass teachers. So we've always had fun. Karla's a really good friend and a huge part of CRY-ROP, and we miss her terribly. So I had to put us up there again because she's my right-hand woman, or maybe I'm hers, I think. That's what it is.
We had so much fun.
So much fun. So think about what you could wear, how you could look silly, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. All right, Karla, do you have a digital version of this?
Yes.
All right,
And
take it away.
Before I move on to the examples here, you're right. I remember Mr. Sarquez, senior year, he was talking about the whole week was 80s, right? The decade of the 80s. And he came up dressed up in costume every single day. And I cannot get that off my mind. Like the costumes he wore, the music he brought in. And that's why I remember his name. Of course, his class was funny too. And fun. So just like we're doing right now, while you're presenting your class, you can also wear a costume, obviously, like we are. But other ways is if you have a Bitmoji, create a Bitmoji, they often change the costumes that you can use with your Bitmoji. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. And for a while they had Game of Thrones and now they don't anymore. And I regret not saving them because I could have used them for other things. Same thing with these cute little pirates. They were on for a while and they're not anymore. But so how can you use this in your class? You can add Bitmojis as you're providing feedback to students, like whether it be on their presentations or on their documents or any work that they're really doing. I really like dropping in the Bitmoji and then adding my comments. Chris did a really cool job with Avoki. Avoki is also a website that you can go in and create a costume and then record yourself talking. and it does both. So let me just go ahead and quickly play his Voki. And it's so cool. I love the background that you left on there too. And imagine just, you know, playing this, it follows the arrow. Check this out. And so playing this before class starts, you could just share it.
Ahoy, mateys. I hope ye be enjoying this workshop of teach and take like a pirate. I best be spotting these hooks with ye own swashbucklers. Arr!
We have a lot of fun here at CRY-ROP, can you tell?
And it's so simple to create a Voki, guys. All you do is you choose your costume, your background, record yourself, and then it automatically saves it, and you could share it however you want. And one of the things that I just learned about that I am so in love with are the Bitmojis on Snapchat. So actually a week ago, my niece sent me her little Bitmoji, and I was like, how did you do that? And then she's like, you use Snapchat. And I was like, I don't know Snapchat, so you need to teach me how. And so my niece is 13 years old, and she said, well, my teacher taught me how to do this, so why don't you know? And I was like, oops. But it just goes to show, right? Like, they're using things with their devices that we're not familiar with, and that was my vulnerable moment. And once she showed me how to do it, it was so simple. I recorded the little Bitmoji using one of the filters, and then I used an application called Unscreen to remove the background. And this goes to everything. For example, if there's a GIF or an image and you want to remove the background from that image, go to unscreen.com and it will do it for you. So I thought, I'll just add my little Snapchat Bitmoji, and I could copy and paste it, and again, also put it as part of feedback when sending students stuff. And I do work with adult students, so from time to time, they are surprised at the stuff that I send them, because I do send them little Bitmojis, and they're like, oh, you use Bitmojis? And I'm like, yeah, I do. So I feel like I'm cool for just a minute.
It's so cool.
That's it.
All right. I promise it's coming to an end, you guys.
We're almost done.
Hang on. Karla, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so guys, today we spoke, I think, how many hooks did we share?
We shared 7 hooks.
7 hooks. Okay, so as you can see, 7 is just a small little sample, like what you get when you go to Costco or Sam's, right? It's a small sample of the various hooks that you can use in your classroom. And what we did was, in each one of the compasses and in the image in the middle are resources with information on the other hooks. Now, not necessarily information on the digital, but I did find a video that Matt Miller recorded, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, and his was on Tech Like a Pirate. I think it's the bottom right corner. It's pretty lengthy, but if you want to check it out, it also gives you examples of how you can integrate these hooks using, you know, digital tools. So yeah, it is like about 50.
Hey, everybody, please.
There you go.
Whatever.
Whatever, Matt.
Chris didn't like us to show Matt Miller, but that's a long story. We'll tell you about that later.
Oh, okay.
Lots of good stuff here, you guys.
Lots of good stuff. And so again, just a breakdown of all the different pirate hooks, and the digital is on the bottom. And I think that's pretty much it.
Karla, do you want to switch the screen?
Yeah.
For us?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's next, Karla?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm in this pirate ship and I don't even know.
Oh, mystery bag reveal. Don't open it yet.
No,
All right,
they
you
probably did already.
guys.
Cheaters.
Either use your paddles or raise your hand, or I want to hear you, although I think someone's on mute there. Who here likes some booty? All right, open your bags. Get some pirate booty. So that's our mystery bag reveal. You each get your individual size portion of pirate's booty. We're being COVID friendly here. You don't have to touch anybody else's. So please take your pirate's booty home.
Did anyone guess right from the answer?
I think one of you put pirate's booty up on the
Yay!
Yeah, so that's really, really cool. Think about how you can integrate little things like this, little mystery bags into your classroom. All right, let's see. I think we've got, oh, forgot about this. So ladies and gentlemen, Melissa and I were very fortunate to see the actual Dave Burgess live, and he's phenomenal in person. This is just we don't do it justice. We think we did a really good job, but he is just phenomenal. I stole the number one way to become a better lover from him. As you can see, it's on the back and on his screen there. And I actually took a picture of that sitting in the training before it started and sent it to my husband and said, can you believe I'm in this training? And he said, how many of you took a picture of that? And all the hands went up. How many of you sent that picture to somebody? And so it did its job. We had no idea what he was going to say, but it worked. It got us hooked and engaged. So I wanted to finish with a quote from him, which is, much of your success as an educator has to do with your attitude towards teaching and towards kids. The rest of your success is based on your willingness to relentlessly search for what engages students in the classroom and the guts to do it. You guys have to be silly. You have to be happy. You have to be enthusiastic, and you have to be willing to be vulnerable. So that's straight out of his book. Go out and get the book. I know a couple of you might have it. If you were with us last year, I know a few of you might have won it or have it anyways. So, hold on, did I forget a slide?
I don't think.
Where's our slide, Karla?
Oh no!
Oh, okay. So let me go back a slide.
The pirates.
No, let me go here first. So what is a workshop without prizes, Karla?
I don't know.
I mean, we have to have some giveaways for you guys besides P.I.R.A.T.E.
All right.
So
free stuff.
free stuff is always a free.
Free 99.
Free 99. Okay. So, and this is something I want to model for you guys.
Oh.
I just went to this website.
What is that, Elena?
What is that? It's missing. Super Teacher something. And if you wanted to do a spinner, I have put all of your names in this spinner.
How cool is
So
that?
the first winner is going to get a very fresh copy of Teach Like a Pirate. You can't have mine because it's been signed by the actual Dave Burgess, but I'm giving away a brand new copy to one lucky winner. If it lands on you and you have this book, please be honest, because I know that there's at least one person sitting in one of these rooms who won this book last year. So be honest if it's you, because we'd like to share the wealth. And then we'll see about getting everybody else books. Maybe I'll talk to your mentor teacher and see if they can do that. All right, are you guys ready? Here we go.
Ready. Winner, chicken dinner. Oh, not yet.
Where's Dan? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Karla and I love doing this. Our contact information is up there. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Please do that. I call my teacher Twitter, so it's really cool stuff, a lot of great resources. But we've appreciated this time that you guys have allowed us to. We hope that you have found some valuable resources and information. I think we did it.
I think we did.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
See you later.
We appreciate you. Take care.
Bye. I'll bring the cards over and the book.
Time to plunder and pillage. Oh.
Yay.
Go ahead and give them a hand. Great information, great resources.